So for those of you who follow the Polanski's storytelling group on Facebook, you know that Brian Finch is a dirty boy. Dirty, dirty boy. And we love him for that. And he had mentioned telling a story that involved a first time. So I figured I would tell a story about a first time. For those who know me well, they know I enjoy both genders. We won't put a label on it, but fun is fun. And my first time was very wonderful and very caring. I was living with my uncle in the West End, and we had neighbors. I smoked cigarettes. I would go outside and I'd smoke cigarettes because my uncle's like, don't smoke in the house. Every so often when I was out of cigarettes, I would buy cigarettes from our neighbors. It was a couple named Gary and Sherry. I kid you not. They had a rhyme. Whatever. And so they would sell me cigarettes every so often, and then I'd start borrowing cigarettes. I'm broke. Can I borrow a cigarette? And they would loan me cigarettes. I would pay them back cigarettes later. And one day, Gary said, hey, you like the party cigarettes? And I said, as a matter of fact, sir, I do. I enjoy the occasional party cigarette. So he said, come over, we'll have a party cigarette. And he put on this independent film about a young man who leaves the farm and goes to the big city. And he meets this lovely young lady who explains how the big city works on the train. I've been on the train before, never met such a lovely young lady. But she introduces him to some friends who live on a ranch in the big city. And when he's there, he ends up in the sauna with the wife of the man who owns the ranch. And she starts explaining how things work in the big city. And then her husband comes in and says, hey, you want me to explain you how things work in the big city? And thusly things were explained. And so Gary turns to me and says, have you ever been explained how things work in the big city? And I said, no, have you? And he says, a couple times. I said, what's it like? He says, it's okay. And nothing more was said. About a week or two later, we're partying with some party cigarettes and some lovely cactus juice. Or maybe it was potato wine. And there was a friend of theirs there, and Sherry said, hey, Eli, we have these trick handcuffs. Bet you can't get out of them. Me, being slightly inebriated and always willing to push boundaries, I said, sure I can. And so Sherry put the handcuffs on me, and I actually got my hand out of one of them. She said, oh, I didn't do it tight enough. Let me do it again. So she put the handcuff on me and pushed me into the bedroom. The other friends, she started freaking out, and they were like, well, go, we're having fun. And so Sherry, who was very lovely and very much my type, was very kind to me, we'll say. And I didn't have to reciprocate at all. She was very, very, very lovely to me. And then Gary came in, and he started being very lovely to me. But the best part about the whole experience for me was the whole time they kept on saying, are you okay with this? Are you okay? Are you freaking out? If you're freaking out, let us know. We'll stop. You know we've had a bit of party cigarettes and some very nice juice. So, if you're not okay, we'll stop. And it was one of the most caring experiences I've ever had. And I've had a few experiences. One or two. Okay, five. 5 experiences. And that was my first experience with a guy.